Well, hey there, church. Today we continue to look at the book of Psalms. Today we are in Psalm 10. Have you ever asked the question, God, where are you? What are you doing? Don't you see all this bad stuff happening? Well, the writer of Psalm 10 asks the same question. In today's climate where there's global pandemics, racial unrest, rioting and peaceful protesting, political outbursts abound, sometimes it's hard to see the good in all of the bad. So let's read Psalm 10 together. Why, O Lord, do you stand off? Why do you hide yourself in times of trouble? In his arrogance, the wicked man hunts down the weak, who are caught in the schemes he devises. He boasts of the cravings of his heart. He blesses the greedy and reviles the Lord. In his pride, the wicked does not seek him. In all his thoughts, there is no room for God. His ways are always prosperous. He is haughty, and your laws are far from him. He sneers at all his enemies. He says to himself, nothing will shake me. I'll always be happy and never have trouble. His mouth is full of curses and lies and threats. Trouble and evil are under his tongue. He lies in wait near the villages. From ambush he murders the innocent, watching in secret for his victims. He lies in wait like a lion in cover. He lies in wait to catch the helpless. And he catches the helpless and drags them off in his net. His victims are crushed, they collapse, and they fall under his strength. And he says to himself, God has forgotten. He covers his face and never sees. So arise, Lord, lift up your hand, O God. Do not forget the helpless. Why does the wicked man revile God? Why does he say to himself, he won't call me to account? But you, O God, do see the trouble and grief. You consider it and take it in hand. The victim commits himself to you, and you are a helper of the fatherless. To break the arm of the wicked and evil man, call him to account for his wickedness that would not be found out. The Lord is king forever and ever. The nations will perish from this land. You hear, O Lord, the need of the afflicted. You encourage them, and you listen to their cry, defending the fatherless and the oppressed, in order that man who is of the earth may terrify no more. So in Psalm 10, we have a contrast between the wicked man and God himself. The writer of this chapter is calling God to see what is going on, to see that there is this individual. But in our case, it could be an individual, it could be a group, it could be a ideology that causes another to be oppressed, to be beaten down. The arrogant and wicked people boast in their hearts. In their pride, the wicked do not seek God. And in their thoughts, there's no room for God's ways. He says to himself, nothing will shake me. I'll always be happy and never have trouble. But the writer of Psalm 10 doesn't end in despair that people that do bad things get away with it. He doesn't go hunt them down himself. Instead, he goes to God with this. And even though the wicked think that God doesn't see, and the arrogant boast that they will get away with it all, in verse 14 it says, "But you, O God, do see trouble and grief." You think about it, you consider it and take it in hand. The victim commits himself to you because you are a helper to the fatherless. And then the writer says, "So break the arm of the wicked and evil man. Call him to account for his wickedness, that he would not be found out." The writer of Psalms is not saying to literally break his arm, but it's to cut off the reach that that person has. Destroy their effectiveness in their schemes. Call him to account of the secret things that wouldn't be found out otherwise. And in verse 16, we have the greatest contrast of all. We have the wicked and the arrogant that think they are safe forever, that they get away with whatever they want, that they are in control. But in verse 16 it says, "It's the Lord that is king forever and ever." The nations will perish, but God remains. And God doesn't rule with an iron fist, because he hears the desires of the afflicted. He encourages them. He listens to their cry, and he defends the fatherless and the oppressed, in order that man who lives on the earth will terrify no more. If today you find yourself as one of the afflicted, as one of the oppressed, as one of the needy, God hears your cry. He sees your pain. He knows your struggle. And while it might seem that the wicked and the arrogant prevail and prosper, it is only for a short season. Because the Lord, the one who is mighty to save, is the King forever. Keep trusting, keep hoping, and your deliverance will come. May we have the same mindset of God today. May we hear the cries of the oppressed, and may we help lift them from the depths. We'll see you next time.